In our previous video, we looked at a way to solve a radical equation algebraically, and we saw that it can become very complicated. In fact, the one that we solved ended up, we had to factor it and check two solutions, and one of them didn't work. And it was definitely a difficult, time-consuming process, but it did work. Let's go ahead and take a look at another way to solve radical equations, and that's to use a graphing calculator. Now, this is really the same method I've showed you before. I just want to refresh you on that. So here's our quadratic equation, or not quadratic, our radical equation that I want to solve. What I've gone ahead and done was I've split it and I've entered in each side of the equation as y1 and y2 in my graphing calculator. Now notice I've been very careful to make sure that +1 is not underneath the radical. If you have an older calculator that uses parentheses instead of just using the bar, make sure you close off the parentheses after the +2 so the +1 is not included. Okay? And this method will work for just about anything. In fact, you can go back and try that previous example if you didn't like solving that algebraically and try to solve it by graphing. So I've gone ahead and entered in both equations. Hopefully you have done that too while I've been talking. Let's hit graph and see what we see. So there's both graphs. What I'm looking for, if you recall, is I'm looking for the intersection of those two graphs. So I can see right there is where it happens. If I can't see that intersection point, I'd have to zoom out or zoom in so I can see a better window. So once I can see that intersection point, let's go ahead and find it. So second, trace to get into the calculate menu, and then I want option 5, the intersect option. So select that. Let's just trace over so we're close to the intersection point, and there's only one. That's what's really nice about solving by graphing. It will not show you any extraneous solutions. Only the actual solutions will show up on your graph. So I'm close to it. Go ahead and hit enter 3 times just as we've done before. And it will find us our intersection point. Now we're solving for x, so all I want is that x value. There's only one solution, it's x equals 1. The 2 is actually what you would get if you were to plug in x to check it. You would get 2 on either side of your equation. So don't write down the y as a solution, that's just what you would get if you were checking it. -1 is the only solution. So this problem is a very difficult problem to solve algebraically. Not impossible, but just a difficult and annoying problem to do. So I'd recommend you just solve by graphing.